Hello, students. This is Professor He. I am grateful to this opportunity to introduce you to Econ 4900-2, which is titled as Economics Behind the Law. So, just to introduce a little bit about myself, I am also an advisor of the Business Law Society and the Pre-Law Society, which is the current name, um, together with Professor Grant. And also, I consider this economics behind the law as a great continuation of your legal studies. So now that you have had a wonderful semester with Professor Grant, are you interested in diving deeper into the law? And are you curious about why and how the American law progressed into today's status? And what is the key spirit that drives the change? And do you want to have more discussions about the law? So if you are interested in either of those, Economics Behind the Law, Econ 4900-2 is the one for you. So we're gonna have similar coverage. So you're gonna have some familiarity, and what you have learned from this class will set a good foundation for the econ class. So we're gonna be examining the unitized spirit eluded across the legal fields, including constitution, property, product liability, tort, and contract, and maybe even more. And by studying landmark cases in these fields, we will discuss how would we rule if we were the adjudicators, the presidential effect of such a ruling. So basically, you need to consider the presidents of that case and what kind of president this case could have been if we decided that this in one way or the other. How would this case be ruled if it were a different legal system? So I'm going to utilize my background as an international professor from a different legal system, and we're going to do a little bit comparative study here. So it is probably a new perspective that you're going to do. So for this current class that you're taking with Professor Grant, possibly you're learning what the rules are and how to maximize your chance of winning as representative of one party or the other. Say you're functioning as an attorney. But in my class, I give you a race, and we are now the adjudicator, the jury, or the judge. So you're going to be thinking that way. I'm going to give you an example. So some of you may have the question, how economics be relevant to the law? These traffic tickets could be a quick example. So have you ever questioned why a ticket is so costly? And it does have its reason, not to mention about the operational cost and of the enforcers, the police. But let's think about the function of the ticket. So to violate traffic rules, you risk being ticketed, which is a cost. And then you need to trade this cost against the benefit of violation. So if the cost being $200, then for some trivial joy, say just being crazy on the road, which may only give you a little bit enjoyment, less than 200, right? You would not consider it worth doing. And with that, this kind of traffic ticket cost filters away those kind of trivial violations. And ideally, they will be totally dissuaded and only real need violation superseding of the law will be allowed. For instance, if, say, my wife's water broke, right? Then I have to drive to hospital. If there is an ER needs, we have to drive to hospital regardless, whatever, right? So this is going to be the insight that I hope that I can bring to you so that you can have a better understanding of how the law is changing, is shaping the society. So how do we learn? I'm using a flipped classroom. I will, of course, teach you the economic ideas, and then we have a lot of opportunity to discuss. So maybe for the current class, it's more about learning and figuring out what it is. But now for my class, I will give you a lot of chances to voice out, to share your questions, to friendly discuss and debate. Different people have different opinions. That's why this country have two dominant parties, and maybe a lot of people still consider those parties cannot fully represent their ideas, right? And we're going to have a moot court eventually to conclude. And what I consider the most important is to develop your skills instead of giving you cutthroat writing tasks, writing exams. Because I think being able to express yourself, being able to respond real time is more important skills, especially for you to succeed in your interview of HR. So hopefully this is going to be a memorable experience. And let's come together and enjoy, and let's study how the economic pie, I use a cake in my class instead, is divided per the law. Thank you very much.